All right. So, Ms. Smith, you're asserting that College Point Apartments owes you about $4,100, a little more than $4,100. And you're saying security deposit, loss of furnishings, rugs, mats, credit balance on account, renter's insurance deductible, partial rent reimbursement. So all of that. And I've got information from both sides that was filed, the exhibits from Ms. Smith and exhibits from College Point. Had a chance to review that. And silencing their phone. All right, so.
Sorry, I don't have a way to silence in the office, Your Honor.
Okay, so the phone may be ringing, but it's pretty quiet, so I'm not going to worry about it as long as you don't answer in the middle. Someone else can answer it, I hope. All right, so Ms. Valenzar, how are you associated with College? Whoops, where'd you go?
No.
Sorry, the voicemail was on, Your Honor.
Okay, good. All right, so what I'm wondering is how you are associated with College Point Apartments?
I have been the property manager since early June, ma'am.
Okay, so, and College Point Apartments is okay with you binding them in litigation, representing them?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So, Ms. Smith, you're already under oath. There's lots of information you filed. I need to know, well, maybe I'll cut to the chase here. Do both of you agree? Ms. Smith, do you agree that we get into defendant's exhibits? Each of you can use all of the exhibits that the other has filed too, but there was a lease agreement in 81 pages, I think.
Yes.
Do you agree that that was the lease that you were operating under?
Yes.
Okay, all right. And College Point agrees that that lease that you filed in your exhibits is what you're operating under?
Yes,
Are you
ma'am.
me?
Okay,
Oh.
all right. So we know what we're dealing with here. So Ms. Smith, tell me why you think you're owed this money. You can direct me to whatever exhibits you think support your claim here. And I may interrupt you as I try and focus you in. I don't want a whole background life story. I just need to know, I understand you paid a security deposit. Maybe that's a good place to start.
Yeah,
And,
page 6 is listing everything that equals the 412650.
Right. So let's start with security deposit. It was $750. Do you agree? You know,
That's
College Point seems to agree there. And when did you leave the apartment?
I moved out on April 15th.
Of 25?
Correct.
Okay. And I think that's agreed as well. Looks like. All right, April 15th, you say. And then when did you give notice that you were going to be leaving?
I'm not sure. I was trying to get the sewage cleaned up. The last sewage leak was very, very bad.
Is there anything that you filed that would tell me when you moved out?
I'm sorry?
Is there anything that you filed? There was a lease renewal. I don't know what you filed here. Anything you want me to look at that would tell me when you moved out? Give me a sense of when you moved out.
Oh, I got a letter. Oh God, is it in there?
I don't know.
All my letters should be in there under correspondence, and that would be correspondence page 11 through 13. And
all right. All right, so that's an email from the January 15. Is that what you're talking about, the email?
Yeah, it's the first one, yes.
Okay. And so
I
in
had,
there somewhere that you'd say where you moved, when you moved out? I
well,
will
there
be
should,
moving out next Tuesday, you say. That's
right,
where it is.
two
April
letters.
15th. Okay. So you, and that was, I see a handwritten letter, April 9th. So you gave written notice April 9th that you were going to be leaving April 15th.
Well, I also, I've got a handwritten on March the 19th, um, with my intention to move. That's in the subject column.
Do you know what page that is in your,
It would have to be in the correspondence. It's got to be page 11 through 13 somewhere.
okay,
I
I'll go
copy
look
of
back.
it here.
Okay, so 11 is an email.
That would have been March 19th.
I've got an email from January 15th. I've
Correct.
got handwritten from April 9th. I've got second page of April, second page, and it says April 19. The first page says April 9th. I'm not sure which. It's which.
You 19th.
So the first page says April 19th. It's handwritten.
Huh.
And the second page of that says, or the first page says April, yeah, April 9th, and the second page, April 19th. So I'm presuming since that they're the same, but I'm not sure what day. But you said in here that you intended, I will be moving out next Tuesday, April 15th. There you go. All right. So April 9th makes more logical sense that you sent that rather than telling them you're going to move out April 15th on April 19th. That's how I'm going to take it.
Oh. Maybe that was March 19th. I don't know. It was a
So
very quick.
what's your recall then? I mean, this is corroborating evidence you filed, but you thought you gave other written notice that you're going to be moving out?
Well, at that point, I wasn't sure when I decided to move out. I was living in Sewage at that
Well,
point.
deciding, I still have to get an answer to this question as best I can. I think I've got it, but it's not when you think you were going to move out or decided to move out. It's when did you give notice to College Point that you were going to move out? And it looks like on April 9th of 2025, you gave written notice that you were going to leave on April 15th.
April 9th.
From that handwriting that you filed in 2 pages. I have page 12 and 13 in your group of information you filed with the court.
I don't have a copy of that one. I know that it was a very difficult time. So and a lot of that was correspondence via telephone.
Okay.
And they were also transitioning to another property manager. So it and I was very ill at the time as well.
I'm going to look through defense's exhibits. Maybe that'll answer some questions for us. And because each of you can use others' exhibits in whatever way you think is useful to talk about your claim. I'm just going to see if there's anything here that I can. So I'm looking at the statement from May 10th. Maybe that'll, they're asserting move-in date April of 2024. So worried about lease start date April of 2024, lease end date May 30 or March 31st of 25. Notice given date March 21st of 2025. Move out date April 17. So they're saying that you gave them notice March 21st. So I'm going to go with that you gave them notice. They counted on March 21st and that you left April 17. You're saying April 15th. So we're going to see where that falls. But I think I can depend on that from what you said, you believed in March. And so they agree. Notice was given March 21st that they count. All right, and so I see that it looks like there's an agreement that there was $750 worth of a security deposit, and you're asserting, seems to me that you said somewhere in here that you thought you were forced out, forced to move, and you should have the security deposit back at least for that reason. Maybe you can tell me that.
The reason I was forced out, is that what you're asking me?
Right, where you've got a lease here, and so
Well,
look,
Biohazard came out and told me that it's unhealthy for me to stay in the apartment because there are particulates in the sewage that is going throughout the apartment. At that point, I contacted College Point management, and
so
they
tell me
said
where you've got that information from the folks who were cleaning it up for you.
H2O.
Okay, that's where I'm looking.
They came out to evaluate the sewage backup.
All right, because I'm looking at, I've got 48 pages of information from you, so I need you to, so H2O, look at that receipt. All right, I'm looking for it.
It's under College Point. I didn't get anything.
Oh, it's under defense exhibits. Okay, I'll go look at defense exhibits. And let me see, H2O. I remember seeing that somewhere. Got over 100 pages here from College Point. So I've got a few things. So you're looking at the March 31st invoice from H2O away. Is that what I should look at?
Well, actually, I'm not sure about the March 31st. They came out and evaluated my apartment the day that the sewer backed up again. And so that was on March the 10th.
Okay, so you think there's something in here? What I'm trying to do is try and figure out, you're saying that somebody told you something that caused you to move out, one of the reasons you moved out, and I need to see where the corroboration is to that. That's what I'm trying to say.
Didn't get it in writing. My apartment at that point was filled with sewage in my master bedroom, master bathroom, and out in my hall.
And when was this? Around when?
I'm sorry?
When? Around when was that?
March. That was in the morning.
I'm sorry, March what? You dropped out there. When?
March the 10th.
March 10th. Okay, so March 10th. And so H2O away or somebody that College Point hired came in?
Correct.
And so March 10th, where did you end up? So you left, you didn't leave until April 17th. Did you leave earlier?
No, I moved out April 15th.
Okay. So you stayed in there for a month and 5 days.
Right. With
So
sewage.
tell me about that.
Well,
obviously,
they told me that when they came to do their evaluation on March the 10th, they said that I shouldn't be in the apartment. There's particulates that come with sewage that I could breathe in. And College Point offered me an upstairs apartment unfurnished, but they couldn't move. I'm physically challenged, and so they couldn't move any of my furniture or anything, and I couldn't get up the stairs anyway. So I asked them, okay, how long is this going to take? This H2 away person said they need to remove all of the laminate flooring. They've got to move some of the wallboard. The place has got to be cleaned, painted, and what do they call ozone machine or something like that to clear out because the particulates are throughout the apartment. And I was told sooner I get out or wear a mask for safety. I can wear a mask for part of the time, but I also have PTSD and panic disorder, so wearing a mask constantly for 6 weeks was not practical for me. Not
So
to
what did
mention I'm
you
able to
stay in,
shower. What's that?
you do then?
What did I do?
Stay in that apartment or take up the new apartment stairs?
I stayed in that apartment until I could find something else. I was not able to shower that entire time. The bathtub in one room was filled with sewage, and the state came in and gave me a special walk-in shower that September, and it was filled with sewage as well, so I couldn't shower.
All right. So you're asking, so you say loss of furnishings, rugs and mats. I think I read about that in some of your exhibits. Was that because of the March 10th event?
Right.
And those rugs, do you have in here, do you have a receipt here about either what they were worth? I mean, because you're asserting, figure out what part of here is, what did it cost you to replace them? What were they worth? Do you have something in here that helps support that?
Well, I'm not asking for replacement of furniture, although I've had to replace some. What I'm asking for is the $500 deductible that my renter's insurance took off the top. Then they depreciated everything, and I got a percentage. But
All right.
I couldn't calculate anything as far as furniture or towels or anything else like that, so I left it off.
So your claim said about $4,100. So what are you claiming? What are you asking for today?
Okay, the security deposit of 750, that's on page 6. The $500 deductible for my renter's insurance, $1,300 for the last minute moving expenses. I had a credit balance on my account of $714, just as March hit. And then the full month of March was paid. And I'm asking for half of that back, 862.50. I read under RCW 59.18 that I would be entitled to a portion of my rent back if the sewage is not taken care of within a reasonable time. They didn't take care of it at all while I lived there for the following 6 weeks. So I was asking for half the rent back.
Okay, and that March was prepaid, so you're asking for half of March because you left, or, all
Right.
right. And I did read about, let me look. So the 500 deductible from renter's insurance, that covered, what did your renter's insurance pay you or take care of for you in this claim? Did it take care of anything in this claim?
Renter's insurance is on page 14 through 28.
Thank you. All right, there. So did they give you any money to offset any of these other claims?
No,
So they did, okay, what did they give you money for, or what did they pay for?
they tried to do is give me a percentage of the losses of all my furniture, plus the loss of my towels, because maintenance was using my towels and whatever they could find to sop up the excess sewage. And so they gave me a lump sum, and I was able to replace a couple of my items, but I still have not been able to purchase the desk chair. But they took my rug, maintenance took my rug that was sopping with sewage and put it across my upholstered desk
So you're not
chair.
asking, you told me that part of this claim is not your furniture, not your furnishings, but so insurance dealt with that. How much did they give you?
Oh, it's uh on that page. It should be the last page, probably 14 to 28.
Enumclaw? Okay, so they gave you deductible 500, depreciation 17. So you ended up with 2549?
Right.
Okay, about 25. We'll round that up, 2550 from insurance, and that covered, let's see what they cost for damaged personal property items. All right. Okay. So that's outside of your claim. All right. And then let me know more about this 1,300 moving expense that you had to incur. So you stayed in the apartment, but April 17th or April 15th, you left, and this 1,300 moving expense that you thought you shouldn't have to have incurred, but for College Point. Tell me
Right.
about that, where to find that.
Oh, there should be a copy. Proof of moving expenses, page 33 through 35.
Okay, thank you. Let me get there. 30. All right, and that's Olympic Moving and Storage.
Correct.
All right. So, and it looks like their load date was April 8th. Pack date April 8th. So they came in and picked you up entirely.
That was the 15th that they actually came out. We had to delay it because I had not gone through the full processing in my current location.
All right. So I see that you changed the date, and I see it. Put it on your credit card, and there you go. So about 1320, about 1320, $1,320. All right. And then that. And then a credit balance. So you say that, so you paid the credit balance on your account was from the prepayment of March or something else?
No, I pay a little bit over each month, over and above my normal rent in case I get in a bind. And you'll find that ledger from College Point on page 36.
Okay. All right. All right. Full ledger, February 11th of 2025. And so I see something circled here, February 4th of 2025, post date, due date, payment, and circled is balance 761.29. And that's what you had sitting in there on February 11th.
Oh, I thought it was 714. I must have written that down wrong.
I have said, well, I'm looking at what you filed and having you direct me, but when I look at that, it's called the full ledger balance credit 761.29. There's a circle around it. I presume you might have sold that. I don't know.
Yeah, I was very, it was a difficult time. I probably looked at it and wrote down something else.
Okay. All right. Well, so there you go. At least as to before the March flood, you've had 761.29 as a balance. All right. All right. And then half of March's rent, why that?
Well, I was only able to use half my apartment because the one I couldn't shower. I was able to access the second bathroom to brush my teeth, etc., but I couldn't shower. But basically, I had used half my apartment with sewage all around me, and so I looked up the RCW code, and it said that I could be entitled to some reduction of rent if I have to live within, and sewage was part of it. And so I took half of my rent and put it down there.
Okay.
So that's half my March's rent. That's on
Okay.
page 6.
You decided on that number. All right. Okay, so I think I understand better. So, and while I've gotcha, I see there's the defense exhibits are starting to say that, and I look at their, and we'll hear from the defense on their own, but when I look at their exhibit, the College Point May 10th statement date, their accounting of
Oh,
outstanding charges from May 10th. They talked
Right.
about smoke damage and remedying smoke damage. Do you have any comment on that allegation?
yes, I do. Matter of fact, if you look on page 7 and page 8, I respond to each of those charges.
Of your materials or defense materials?
Fine.
Mine. Okay, let me get back there. Jump around here. All right. And the dispute where 7 and 8, dispute of move out damage charges. Okay. So what are you saying here? Their charge of smoke damage, your charge of what? Why?
Well,
Help me understand.
what the biohazard company told me is that they were going to have to rip out everything. They were going to have to use this ozone machine. They were going to have to paint because of the particulates is going to get throughout the entire apartment. And so it looked to me, since my caregiver cleaned that section of the apartment that was usable, and except for the windows, and I told him that the windows were never cleaned when I moved in. But everything else, including cabinets, refrigerators, etc. But the biohazard people said, okay, basically that they were going to have to do all of this anyway because they're going to have to go in. They can't rent the apartment until they remove the laminate, the wallboard, whatever. Then they're going to have to repaint. They're going to have to use this ozone machine, etc., etc. So it looked to me like they're trying to charge me for things that they were going to have to do anyway. Now, the only time I smoked in that apartment is I have lymphedema, and after each sewage dump, and even when I got the gray water dump, I ended up in the hospital for a week with cellulitis. And that means IVs for 1 week to get rid of it. And I suffered
So you
with.
said, let's bring this back to smoking. How does this, you said the only time that you smoked in this apartment, you were going to say something about that.
Yeah, I went with the hospital at home program. So I was not allowed to leave my apartment during that week. And before that, I used to go out to the grassy area and smoke, which was legitimate. But I could not leave the apartment while I had cellulitis. And that happened 3 times.
Okay. So the
And
March
I've got
10th event, the March 10th event of the sewage, what was your understanding of the cause of that?
I never did find out. The Roto-Rooter people, according to what College Point stated, that he'd already Roto-Rootered the pipes. I have no idea what caused it. It was the second sewage backup since I moved in, well, within a 6-month period. The first time somebody was putting diapers and diaper wipes down the toilet. The second time, I'm guessing roots got in the pipes. I don't know. I was never told.
So where did it, and so did it come out of where did the flooding come out of when you noticed?
The toilet.
Okay,
wait
and
a
both,
minute, yeah, it filled up my master bathroom, which had my
Okay.
special shower, the master bedroom, and started down the hall into the living room.
okay. And then that was the March event, and then there was an earlier event. I remember you wrote about same thing, same place it
Right.
started to,
Well, the
and
second January 11th flood, the people upstairs went to take a shower one night and fell asleep, and they left the shower on all night. And so it filled up my bathroom and part of my master bedroom, which College Point never cleaned that one up either. My caregiver did his best, but unfortunately, I did end up in the hospital again after that one.
so that was
It
the
was
gray water event that you talked about.
right,
Okay, so
exactly.
can you tell me when you say that College Point Apartments, quote, never cleaned that up, what does that mean?
It means they never came back to sterilize the area after any of the three events. According to what I read under RCW codes, they're supposed to come in after any kind of event like that, and they're supposed to sterilize the area, clean it up, like it make it livable again,
Right?
and they
And
never
that
did.
did happen in January, after January's gray water flood, and you're saying after the March sewage flood from your bathroom.
Right.
Um,
And there was an October flood sewage backup. That's the one where the diaper and wipes were supposed to have been put in the toilet.
and do you know, so you don't know the basis for your March event, or you do?
No, I
Why that
don't know.
happened?
Not
All right,
exactly. No, I all I know is it backed up.
okay. I'm looking through information. And so on each of these occasions, then somehow I see there are Roto-Rooter things and other HD supply company and other, we'll hear more from, I'm sure we'll hear more from College Point, but you say that they came in and did they clear the debris but didn't come back? Or did they not even come in and clear the debris?
Well, they came in with wet vacs, and just did that. Then they put in a air purifier, a commercial size, and then they put in a commercial size uh, dehydrator or dehumidifier. And of course, those were running 24/7 for the 6 week time, which was on my electricity, but I didn't add that either. I didn't know how to calculate it, but that was running. And the reason they put on there that I destroyed their drape or their blind, that was destroyed by maintenance when they put the tube from the air purifier through the blinds out the window. And I've never touched those blinds. Not to mention, they did charge me 75 for a full month in April for utilities, and I was only there a half a month.
Okay.
So that $75 charge should be $32.50.
Right. And so when you first came into College Point Apartments back in what it was April of 2024, sometime around there, um, you rented a certain apartment. Your inability to go upstairs, was that also present in April of 2024?
Yes, it was. The reason I moved from the prior apartment, which I was there for over 6 years, was because I became totally disabled while I was living there, and the specialty walker that I needed would not get me in the kitchen. I couldn't get into the bathroom. So I went and looked for an apartment that would accommodate my doorways, accommodate my walker.
Okay. So you came to College Point Apartments with those limitations and you had a first floor apartment so that you
Right.
didn't have to do stairs. Okay. Were there
Right.
any stairs leading up to your apartment in any way, like from parking lots or any common
No,
area that you use? So you had laundry inside, you had all that.
right.
All right. Okay.
Actually,
So
it was a perfect apartment,
do you know if
unfortunately.
was it designed for someone like who would need larger doorways?
Uh, Jessica originally told my caregiver and I that that was an ADA apartment, and so I didn't bother to check. But when I finally moved in, I found it wasn't total ADA. It was missing some things, but that was not an issue. But
But
yes, I'm presuming that's the way it was.
College Point told you and apparently understood that you needed those accommodations. You had a
Oh, yeah.
caregiver at the time as well. And was that caregiver in as well a live-in or at least came by every once
No,
in a while?
5 days a week, 8 hours a day at that point.
Okay. And so that was, sounds like it was known to College Point as they advertised the ADA. All right. Anything else before I turn to College Point Apartments?
Let's see, the only concern I have is that, well, they are charging me for the same things that the bio uh, department told me. Um, Anne told me when we went into mediation, the reason they're charging me for these things is because they did not remove the laminate. They did not remove the fiber, the wall boards. They didn't do any of that. And I'm concerned because he said that sewage is underneath the laminate flooring. Um, I tried calling the health department and a couple other places to.
They're off track. So anything about these assertions that you made about what you're owed from College Point?
uh, well, let's see, most of the, personally, when they said the apartment was very extra dirty, for $350, yes, it was. It was filled with sewage. I can't
Well,
imagine.
it wasn't still filled with sewage, correct? Or was it still in
No, it
April?
was. The day I moved out, it still had sewage in it. Even the bathtub had a ring in it from the sewage. It finally did drain down. But if you'll notice in my pictures, the bathtub had sewage in it. They never came to even clean the bathtub.
Okay.
So I just feel like, the few weeks that I did smoke in that apartment was because of sewage backups, which caused cellulitis, which, restricted me to an apartment. And I finally got patches on the third time around, but unfortunately, I did smoke in that apartment for 2 weeks. So I honestly feel like they're trying to get out of, you know, they're trying to make me pay for something they should have done.
So when I look at one of your pictures, page 47, it looks like a bathtub to me, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Looks like there's a pool of water in it. Second bathtub, you say on the bottom, full of sewage during March flood. When was this picture taken?
That was taken right after the flood on March the 10th.
Okay, so it wasn't taken in April, but it was taken in March, and
No,
that stay
yeah.
that way then? And how long did that stay that way?
I didn't really, we kept a curtain across to try to keep the smell down, and hopefully some of the particles down, but because I did have to use that sink for my brushing my teeth and combing my hair. So I didn't really notice and we had to throw the shower curtain away, of course. But I really didn't pay attention as to when it finally went down.
Okay. All right. Well, let me turn to, well, first, before I turn to Ms. Valenzar for College Point, let me kind of just looking at what the time it is. And so the Toths, if you'd come on up and have a seat, one of you or both of you. And Mr. Elkin, what happened to Micra? Are they Micra and Ickard? Are they meeting right now, or what
Yeah,
happened
they're
to
still
them?
meeting.
They're still meeting. Okay, that's good. All right. Why do we have the bad chairs there? All right, so we've got another case coming on 11 that my other judge has to see and finish up. And so I'm going to finish this case up this morning. We're going to set a new court date for the Tots. Mr. Elkin, you there? Mr. Elkin, need you to start your camera and open your mic. Mr. Elkin.
Hmm?
Mr. Elkin, Ed Elkin, Miles Paint and Surface Cleaning. What are we looking at?
Right, our next date would be April 10th.
Okay. Try not to swear. I understand you're frustrated. Try not to swear. We're in court. So Mr. Elkin, are you there? Mr. Elkin, I need you to unmute and start your video. Mr. Elkin, trying to get you out of here. You'd be, but our next date is April 10th. So if you need to look at calendars or something, stay right where you are. I'm going to be looking. Mr. Elkin, are you with us now?
Yes, I am.
Start your camera. All right, we got
Hello.
Mr. Elkin back. So Mr. Elkin, I'm taking up this claim 39389. I'm still in the middle of another claim. There's another case that comes on at 11 that was pre-scheduled. So we're going to reset this claim, the toss against Miles Paint and Surface and you. And our next court date isn't until April 10th. And we would get to trial that day. As to the Toths, what's your scheduling look like? And Mr. Elkin, what's your scheduling look like?
Let me, yeah, April 10th. Let me check here real quick.
How's that for the Toths? You need to look at your phone. Okay.
I think it's fine.
Yes, that's fine with me.
Okay, so what do you think?
That's good with us also.
All right, so we're set for April 10th. Now, the court received information from the Toths, Mr. Elkin, and it's fine, you don't have to file anything, but if you wanted to, I'm gonna say that by April 3rd, if you want something the court to look at and the Toths to look at from your point of view on this case, have it filed by April 3rd, or it may not be reviewed by the court, all right?
Very well.
Yeah, lots of time. Now you got to get it to the Toths as well. So they have time. So everything gets traded. We've got lots of information. So nothing gets filed with this court after April 3rd or given to each other after April 3rd. So everybody can be ready.
If I
And
file it
nobody
on,
needs to, pardon?
if I file it by April 3rd with the court, then they have the ability to view it online, right? I mean, I don't need to send it to them.
Right, you
Personally.
can view it online as well. So both of you can go to the court file and look at everything that's filed. So nothing comes in after April 3rd. If it does, the court may not look at it, may not consider it. So, and anybody notice, you all know. And we'll just be back on April 10th and get the trial done then.
What time?
Okay, and where will we?
Same, well, I'm not quite sure what courtroom. I'm not sure if we're gonna be here.
In April.
Yeah, we're still gonna be
It'll
here.
still be in 403.
Same Zoom instructions. You can come into court or you can just do Zoom instructions, whatever you want to do. But it'll be in this courtroom, April 10th.
Oh.
And
Okay.
we summons everybody for, well, if you're here, I'm going to give you allowance 9 o'clock because you're not going to be talking with DRC and we don't. But Mr. Elkins, make sure you can get in on Zoom if you come by Zoom by 9 o'clock, no hiccups. So everybody be ready by 9.
Very
And we'll
well.
get go. All right. So that's it. Then the toss, Mr. Elkin, you can be on your way today.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Great, and that's it. I'm sorry we didn't get to it today. Like the airlines, we're overbooked. So it's not great, but there you go. So let me finish up this other matter, and then I hear the judge out there for his 11 o'clock. Do we have folks yet for 11?
Not quite yet.
Okay.
They should be signing off shortly.
Let me know when they're here. All right, so back to Ms. Smith and back to College Point. I'm turning to you, Ms. Valenzar. So we've narrowed down just exactly what Ms. Smith's claims are, that 500 deductible from her renter's insurance, the 750 security deposit, about $1,320 moving expenses, the 760 due credit that she had on her balance, that was going back to February. We determined from the documents, and then about $862.50 for half of March's rent. So that's what Ms. Smith is asking the court to consider. And so then I turn to you as to that information. And you filed several documents. And again, remember, I'm listening. I may be looking over here at the things you're pointing me to, but College Point's response to those things.
Yes. So in the lease, we do have a couple items pointed out, on page 3 of the lease. It goes over her renter's insurance, which she did have, but we don't cover deductibles, as well as we have
Page 3
a
of
couple different
the
spots.
lease you want me to go look at?
Yes, that just goes over the renter's insurance requirement.
Where's that? What paragraph?
The whole thing is liability insurance auto enrollment addendum, where if she doesn't have her own,
It's an
we'll
addendum.
supply it
So
for
you
her
got to
for-
direct me better. I need you to direct me to, it's 81 pages, so I need some help. That you want me to go to addendum, or is in the body?
Oh, I'm so sorry. It's page 4.
Okay.
Page 4.
All right, thanks. And then also, Ms. Smith wants to look, she knows what we're looking at. So let me get there. And it takes a while to get through 81. I've got several hundred pages there. Right. So what paragraph number is it in your lease?
Number 1.
Number 1, paragraph, occupancy and leased premises is what I see. Nope.
No, so in the documents that I sent over, Exhibit 1, page 3, it should be. Sorry, page 4. I keep saying 3. I'm sorry. Page 4 goes over the liability insurance.
Okay, page 4. Ah, there it is. Okay, auto enroll addendum. All right, there we go. And so you're saying within that, and it was signed by both and requires, I do remember reading this. So she did comply with that. Acknowledge receiving notice.
And then.
All right, so you're saying that, let me look. Okay, and
the next set of item is on page 11, section 14.
Is this in the lease?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, risk
So
of loss,
1,
residence
page
property. All right, and what am I to take from that?
Residents shall bear the risk of loss of any and all of residents' personal property while they're located in leased premises in garage/carport designated storage area or within the community. Residents agree not to hold owner, its agent, and or employees liable in any manner for or on any account of the loss damages sustained by reason of the acts or omissions of third parties, or arising from any casualty, including but limited to fire, smoke, rain, flood, water, and pipes, and et cetera, et cetera. unless otherwise required by law.
Okay, so you're saying then what does that, where does that apply as to absolving some of her claims? She's not
she
asking for
wants
personal
us to
property
go-
or furnishings. We've narrowed that down.
Okay. Where is it? So with the paperwork that we submitted for the invoices that you were referring to, I uploaded that to show the cost that we paid to get her apartment back up and running for the next tenant, which included that one from EM Cleaning on page 91. They came out personally and determined the unit was a full clean. She had 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and it was extra dirty for $365.
That
And
was
she
in,
was just charged
wait,
$3.
let me get to that.
Sorry.
Page 91 takes a while to get there.
Okay.
but 1 second. 91. I have 2 filings. One is through 81 and then another has 20 pages. So I know you tried to organize this. Sometimes when it comes in, it just doesn't come in the best as we had thought. And it's from, is it your, where am I looking? Trying to find it. What company? It's a receipt.
EM Cleaning Services.
There it is. Okay, in cleaning service, I have an invoice, one from May 5th. There's a different one, or is that the one we're talking about?
Yeah, so this one's May 5th. The service date, I think they swapped their dates, but it was for May. So after we got the apartment ready, they cleaned it as the final thing before someone moves in, and that was $365.
Got it. All right.
On
And
the
so that
next-
was after. And
Sorry.
go on.
The next page is the invoice from Mr. Reuter Plumbing, showing that we came out right after to help tackle this leak for her unit as well as any other units that might have been affected, and that they fixed it same day and guaranteed the repairs. And on the next page, you can see that we paid just over $1,800 for that.
Okay, so when I look at Mr. Reuter, let's see, arrived on site. This was invoice in March 10th, completion date March 10th. So all about that date. Arrived outside, Doug called. I don't know who Doug is, called to accept the estimate. Probably someone from your College Point, I'm guessing. Currently backed up. So camera inspection downstream, malfunction, able to make it main upstream, massive debris buildup, water holding on it. All right. Recommend hydroscrub for the drain system upstream. Will camera during or after hydro. We stand by our work. I'm trying to interpret what all this means. Maximum distance, camera inspection. Okay. So task, hydro scrub the main line, hydro scrubbing process using pressurized water to clean the interior surfaces of the pipes, grease, vegetable matter, debris. That fuel and environmental surcharge, $25. So that was $1,870 to deal with the hydro scrubbing of the main line. All right, and that was on the 10th of March. So, all right, I'm with you. And
so we actively tried to fix it right away for her.
Okay.
Next page, it's a little out of order, should have done it a little differently, but next page, it goes over the HD supply. I mean, this doesn't necessarily pertain to Miss Smith, but it just shows what we paid to get her apartment back in order for the next tenants, which included, you can see the extra blinds that we had to pay for her unit. We ordered a few extra, but we did have to order blinds for her apartment, but we only charged her for one because since she did smoke in her apartment, blinds have to be replaced due to all the nicotine sticking to those blinds, and these blinds can't get easily cleaned.
all right, so that comes out to $1,124. We're talking about a slab door, a hollow core slab door, another door, a bifold, not sure what this is. Bed, bath, privacy, satin. I don't know what that is. Passage knob.
It's
Maybe it's
privacy doorknob.
mini blind, nylon something. So some of these things I don't really know what they are, but comes out to 1124 total that you charge back against Ms. Smith.
Yes. And then on the
your
next
certain-
page,
All right.
on the next page goes over her move-in, move-out inspection report. This one is the one that was done on move-in when Jessica was still the manager, and they completed this on April 22nd. It notates that there were scuffs on the wall, that her apartment was clean, her lights were clean, there was no damages to her range, etc. Regarding all of those, nothing in regards to her blinds or any smoke damage done to her apartment.
All right. And I do see that smoking addendum that she said she wasn't going to smoke in the apartment. All right.
Yeah,
And
as well as on the first. Sorry, the delay doesn't help.
Go ahead.
On the first, her lease, it also goes over, there is also a fine for smoking in your apartment of $350.
Where
But
is
we did
that?
not, like, if you were a renter, we did not charge her that fine for smoking inside her apartment.
Okay.
What page is that on the lease? I did not see that anywhere.
So it wasn't charged
Yeah, I can-
against you, so I'm not going to consider it. It's not of
Okay.
issue here. So go ahead, College Point. So about the moving expenses that are claimed, the 1,320, because otherwise, I mean, Ms. Smith is saying she otherwise wouldn't have left had this sewage issue happened.
And understandable, we don't cover people's move outs. However, we did offer her a bottom floor unit to transfer to. And with that
Oh.
transfer, it would have been, we would have transferred her to another first floor unit.
All right, so we heard from Ms. Smith that she was offered an apartment that had stairs to it. You're saying that that's not so.
No, I found an email correspondence between her and the assistant manager, Dylan. I did not get a chance to upload it prior to this call, stating that they were offering her a first floor apartment.
And when was that?
I believe it was in March, if I recall. It's on my other
You
computer that I can't access without
Okay.
blurring out this
So
one.
it would be helpful to know more about that and maybe have you read it to the court. So you think it was in March, soon after the event, that you offered a bottom floor apartment. And when you offer a bottom floor apartment, that does mean you offer to help, move her in there, or just you can move in and set up household there and we'll just transfer it to this apartment number.
We would just transfer her over to that apartment because of liability, we can't move personal belongings. We're not certified to do that for insurance reasons, employer reasons. We're not able
Would
to.
that have been an ADA apartment, or one that would be accessible for someone with disability? That was being
They
offered?
would. Not that I know offhand. I just know it was a first floor unit with no stairs going up to it, and that it would not have carpet in the unit. It would have LVP vinyl throughout.
Okay, so not sure if it was ADA, but it would have been the first floor without stairs.
Yeah, it was just going to be a similar unit to what she was already in.
Okay, all right. And then when I look back at your exhibits, again, let me look at the, what's helpful here, where to go. The invoice, I have it on says up in the quarter page 84, but I have it as page 3 in my documents, but it's the May 10th College Point invoice. I presume that is kind of the closeout invoice. It says
Mhm.
move in, lease start, lease end, notice given, move out date. Okay. So you're with me?
Yes.
All right. And so
Yeah, I do know.
this would have been your sending to Ms. Smith what the final with her security deposit and what the other charges were.
Yes, and I did notice that there was an inconsistent on there due to our system. It auto generates our fees, and so we have to manually go in and adjust it. And so I did notice that her utilities were not adjusted, and so I do know that that $75 for her water, sewer, and garbage, that's flat rate, would need to be adjusted.
Okay, where, let's see. Amenity plus rent, where is that needed to be adjusted? I don't see it. I have 2 pages.
I have not adjusted it to me because I saw it right as we were coming into small claims, and so I didn't know if I should have done it before or after, or what the process would be.
Okay.
I hadn't heard from Miss Smith until I got the file serving us that we would be going to small claims. I had not heard from her since.
All right.
Before.
So, okay, the monthly utility charge, there it is. And so you're saying that that 75 should or should not have been included?
No, it should have been lowered and been prorated out for her.
Got it. Okay. All right. So that's why you didn't return the 750 security deposit, is this statement, the other information we talked about. All right.
Yes.
And then we went over what has to be. Go ahead.
Due to no rent was paid in the month of April from her or housing showing, so there was that balance, which is what her credit that she continued to carry went towards, as well as all the other charges.
So April, you didn't collect rent from her.
No, we did not.
Okay. And yet she was there for 17 days. So you took that 17 days or 15 days out of the balance.
Yes.
Okay, I got it. All right. And the rent at the time was what, $17.20, something like that?
Yeah, let me grab her file again. I have the email pulled up from earlier too. Her rent at the time was her rent. That's not right. It was $17.10.
Oh, 1710. Okay. All right. All right. See if I got any other questions here. Anything else that I need to hear from you about all her Ms. Smith's claims?
Are you talking to
I just
talking
got the report that I went.
Ms. Smith. College Point, do you have anything else to say?
Yes, we just went off of the report from plumbing and H2O away for mitigation and resources, which from those dates we took care of in the month of March. And that is the documentation I have to go off of, as well as her lease of who's responsible for what items.
Okay, so the HTO mitigation final report, is that what I'm looking at?
Yeah,
Or-
the invoice.
Okay, I think in the corner it says 89, but
as well as the
it
email
is page
saying-
8. Is that what I'm looking at? I've got a couple of things here. Looks like I've got an email stream Mitigation
Yes.
final report. All right. So what is that? One page, it's Emmy Young. I don't know who she is. I've already provided it. Please see attached. I don't know. All right. And then attached,
Yeah, and
there is
that's
an invoice.
the next page.
Residential water mitigation. Do we know what they did?
This is all they gave us, showing that they
Okay.
did water mitigation services to those apartments listed in the
So,
email. That's all I have.
okay, so they didn't give you any detail on that. And then we've got E&M cleaning services, and that was who came in sometime after April 17th to rectify the cleaning in the apartment. Okay.
Yes, they're used for all of our apartments once they're vacant to get them ready for the next tenant.
All right. All right. So anything else from College Point?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thanks, Ms. Valenzar. And of course, Ms. Valenzar, you're kind of filling in at the back half where it looked like you came in after the events or soon after the events.
Correct. So I have everything from what was given to me from vendors and what was already on file.
Okay. All right.
And I did find that email if you still want to hear it. If not, I understand
Okay.
since it was not provided.
Well, why don't you read it through to the court?
Okay. So it was dated for March 2nd or 12th, sorry, March 12th at 1:40 p.m. Dear Carol, we are writing to inform you that we are actively working on arranging a different unit for you. We understand the importance of having a bottom floor accommodations to meet your needs, which limits our options. Due to this requirement, we have prioritized a unit that is not fully ready, but will be expedited for your move as soon as possible. We are committed to ensure a smooth transition for you and appreciate your patience during this process. We will keep you updated on the process and notify you as soon as the new unit is available. If you have any questions or require further assistance, please do not hesitate to reach out. We were also wondering if there were any updates on your renter's insurance claim. Thank you for your understanding. Sincerely, Dylan Savage, Assistant Community Manager. And there was no correspondence back.
Okay. All right. Thank you. That's helpful. All right. So Ms. Smith and Ms. Valenzar, on behalf of College Point, I'm going to render my judgment. There's not time to argue about it. But this is what I find is, given the information that everybody's filed, I appreciate that everybody filed everything ahead of time and organized it so well and helped me go through it again today. But I find that given the flooding into her apartment, given the knowledge that she needed ADA accommodation, that's why she came and rented with you way back. And I know that Ms. Valenzar was coming in on the back half. This is College Point we're talking about. And that this unit, College Point has to make things habitable. It looks like they tried to make some mitigation, but it wasn't habitable. I'm going to grant March and half of April rent to Ms. Smith. I'm going to grant her security deposit back and their $500 deductible back from insurance that she had to use because of the damage and where she was living. So I got that right. I think my math comes out to 500 deductible, 750 security deposit, 2565 is a month and a half of rent, March and April, when the place frankly was not habitable. Even trying to give her an accommodation that wasn't ADA though, and knowing when she came in that she needed that, that comes out to, let's see, rent for 2 months. To do my math here. 300. All right, 3815. I'm gonna do that one more time to make sure I've got it right, but 3815, 3,815 is the principal that's owed to Ms. Smith. Filing fee of $50. Ms. Smith, did it cost you any money to get notice to College Point to be here today?
Oh, yeah, it did.
What was
Um,
that?
I forgot to put that in there too. I've not done this before, so, um, I had my caregiver do it. Isn't this it here?
Yeah.
It was, where does it say on here?
That's just the USPS.
Oh, great. Well, it wasn't that much. I think it was like $3 or $4. It's all that it was, and
Okay, the
I'm not
mailing
gonna
receipt,
quibble
I see.
over $3 or $4.
Okay, then we won't either, so. 3865, $3,865 is owed from College Point Apartments to Carol Smith. So I've written out that judgment, that settles the matter. So that's in the court file and available to both sides. If you need some help accessing it, just contact the court. But you can use your Zoom instructions to get it if you're good at that. And then
And
the two of you
how-
can talk
what about
about that further
this?
on how that'll get paid up.
Now, do I still owe the collection agency the 17,
I can't, I
1700?
didn't make any ruling as to a collection agency. I made a ruling as to what College Point owes you. And so that's what they owe you. All right,
Okay.
so now I would suggest you might want to be in touch with whoever powers that be at College Point to talk about how to get that paid with your judgment. Ms. Valenzar, is there someone in particular Ms. Smith should contact?
It would be me after I contact my corporate office and get the judgment rolling.
Okay, all right. So Ms. Smith, you know to contact Ms. Valenzar and follow up on that judgment. So that's it for today. Thanks, Ms. Smith. Thanks, Ms. Valenzar. And that's all. We're adjourned for today.
Okay, thank you.